Your addict isn't who you are. Maybe your addict has scaly skin and beady eyes. Maybe it talks all slick and smooth like a timeshare salesman. Maybe it has a menacing mechanical hand like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. Personally, I think of my addict as a toxic ex-boyfriend I've got to stay the hell away from. When life gets dull or difficult, it's tempting to think back wistfully on the good times we shared, the excitement, the pleasure, and the escape from reality. But whenever the thought of my toxic ex starts to seem all sexy and romantic again, I have to remind myself of all the pain he caused me. How he was never okay with me just being myself. How he always wanted me to be someone with no feelings, no needs, and no control over the direction of our relationship. How we went around and around in cycles of codependent craziness, coming up against the same dead ends every time. I have to remember that even though my addict may always be lurking around, trying to tempt me to come back, that doesn't mean I should go back. My addict will always be the same sleazy, loveless asshole he always was, a pretty parasite happy to exploit me for his own selfish gain. I know that's pretty damning as far as metaphors go, but that's the point. You already know that your addict isn't pretty. My point is that your addict isn't you. I've already said that your addict has a personality unto itself. The thing about personalities is that they're hardwired to repeat themselves to produce a desired result, survival. And just like any other personality, your addict functions as a pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that play out in predictable ways, with the goal of keeping itself alive. Here's where your addict's personality goes off the rails, though. It isn't geared towards your survival or well-being. Your addict's lone objective is to get itself fed with your drug, whether that's alcohol, pills, gambling, pornography, or a good old smorgasbord of addictive substances and behaviors. Feed me, your addict hisses at you. To hell with your well-being and survival. Indeed, your addict is a hungry beast, and a cunning one at that. It'll pelt you with the perfect storm of self-defeating beliefs, emotional triggers, and situational prompts to use your drug, thereby ensuring not only its survival, but its growth. Case in point, the characteristic way your addict handles problems. Spoiler, it's terrible with problems. Your addict will think and stew and agonize over a problem in isolation, which is tantamount to leaving it on an interminable high-heat spin cycle. Obsessing about the problem causes it to expand to massive proportions, so the problem begins to meld with your identity, inseparable from you. It begins to feel utterly unsolvable. That makes you feel awful, because now it's you who's unsolvable and ashamed of who you are, a piece of shit who can't even solve their own problems. Am I right? Dreading any contact with that awful, unsolvable problem, your addict will do its damnedest to prevent you from asking for help so you can actually deal with the problem. God forbid you should talk about it honestly with anyone. Doing so would mean outing yourself as shameful and unsolvable. Needless to say, most problems approached in this fashion, including addiction itself, tend to go unsolved. But hey, why bother solving problems when your addict is ready and waiting with a quick and easy remedy to numb the pain of those problems? That's where your drug comes in, of course. Quick and easy, yes, but with a non-negotiable side of soul-sucking, life-destroying consequences. So you curse your addict, that con artist, who always makes it seem like your drug is the answer to all your problems. You swear you'll never listen to it again. But man, is your addict convincing. It's seductive, like a toxic lover. You fall for it time and time again, going against your better judgment, your values, your intentions, and everything and everyone you love. Are you convinced yet that your addict is the problem? Good. I'll say it again. The first step towards solving a problem is admitting that there is a problem. The next step, understanding how to solve the problem, will require you to have a basic understanding of how your addict came to be and who it had to kill, maim, or seduce to get to where it is today. Basically, your addict started out like one of those little capsules that kids put in water. You know, the ones that slowly expand into a giant sponge shaped like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's no way to get the T-Rex back in the capsule, is there? That's what happened with you and your drug. You had a taste of it, and it felt good. It enhanced your sense of pleasure, or helped you avoid pain, or both. Then your poor gullible limbic system, the part of your brain that controls motivation and emotion, sprang into action to recreate that experience. Because man, remember how good that feeling was? Remember how it helped you feel pleasure and avoid pain? From there, your addict grew up big and strong. Get ready for a medley of metaphors because they all apply. Your addict is like a vacuum, and like all vacuums, it seeks to fill itself. Your addict is like a tapeworm living inside you whose appetite keeps getting bigger and bigger. But mostly, your addict is a leech in need of a host to supply and protect it. That's where your true self comes in.